Hey, you're looking great. Did you lose some weight? Are you on a new diet or something? Strawberry pie? Don't mind if I do. Here are 19 reasons to read Thinner. Hi there, I'm Dave Musson at Dave Musson on Instagram, and welcome back to my channel where I'm walking through the entire works of Stephen King in chronological order and giving you 19 reasons to read each book. Why 19? Because Stephen King. We've got one more book from 1984 to cover, and it's a fun one. It's Thinner, the final book that he wrote under the pseudonym Richard Bachman before That Secret was outed. Let's jump in. Here are 19 reasons to read Thinner, and as always, potential for a couple of mild spoilers ahead. So not only was this the final Bachman book before That Secret was outed, but this was actually the first Bachman book that King wrote specifically for that pseudonym, and was the first Bachman book to get a release in hardback. While the earlier Bachman books are angry and bleak, with this one you can really see the fun King is having at just being somebody else. It's kind of a shame it all came out so soon after this one was published really, as it would have been fascinating to see where he went next. So there was a short period of time between Thinner being published and the Bachman story coming out, and in that time quite a lot of critics ended up comparing the similarities between King and Bachman. I can just imagine Stevie up there in Maine chuckling away at those reviews. So let's look at the big reveal then, and it wasn't a journalist who discovered the secret. It was actually a bookstore clerk called Stephen Brown, who happened to be a big Stephen King fan. He located evidence from copyright data from the Library of Congress that showed that Bachman and King were the same person. So when King found out he'd been rumbled, he was initially kind of pissed, probably because his Bachman experiment was just really starting to gather steam. But he also behaved like an absolute champ. He phoned up Stephen Brown and encouraged the literary detective to interview Cy King and then shop that piece to the media with the help of the big man himself. What a guy. Let's get our teeth into the meat of this book then. The main character is Billy Halleck, a fat lawyer who, while driving home one night and while still at the wheel, was getting a hand job from his wife Heidi. Understandably distracted from the driving, he ended up running down and killing an old Romany woman. But with all his connections made through work, he's able to get off. No, not in that kind of way. It was probably quite satisfying to eventually get off, as I'm imagining the hand job didn't quite go to plan. Outside, the Romany woman's father, yes, father, a very old man, places a curse on Billy, which causes him to lose weight constantly, no matter what he eats. The rest of the story is essentially Billy's race to stay alive. Pretty cool, right? So Thinner is partly based on an episode from Stephen King's life. At one point he weighed 236 pounds and was told by his doctor that he needed to lose weight and stop smoking. Now, although King did eventually lose the weight, he was quite annoyed by the fact that that decision didn't really feel like his. It was being forced on him. All of this thinking about weight sparked the central idea for Thinner, and this scenario of somebody who just simply couldn't stop the pounds from dropping off. So Billy wasn't the only person on the receiving end of a curse. The judge and the police officer involved also received black marks against them. The results were brilliantly gruesome. I won't spoil it, but will say they are excellent in a really horrific way. Oh, I forgot to mention how the curse was placed on Billy. So the old man, Tadeusz Lemke, took his hand and stroked Billy's cheek while saying one word. Which word? You guessed it. Thinner. Now at first, Billy doesn't mind the curse. After all, he's been trying to shift a few pounds for a while, and now it's just happening. But when he realises he can't stop, that's when the whole tone of the book really changes. And it's fascinating to see Billy's mind unravel. So Billy decides to track down the travellers and beg them to remove the curse. And to do this, he enlists the help of a gangster who he happens to have got to know through his own line of work. This gangster is called Richie the Hammer Ginelli, and he feels like the blueprint for what would have been a prototype Bachman supporting character. He's nasty. He's a bit comic book. he's over the top, and the pages that he is on are really fun. So the travellers refuse to lift the curse and have Billy ejected from their camp, but not before the granddaughter of the woman Billy kills shoots a ball bearing through Billy's hand with her catapult. Even just reading those words on the page will make your palm sting. Ow! If you like your servings of action sprinkled with a bit of violence on top, you will love the revenge that Richie and his squad exact on the gypsy camp. So, fun fact connected to Richie, the audiobook for Thinner was read by Joe Manteiga, who, as it happens, played the role of Richie in the 1996 movie adaptation of this novel. Nice. One more on Richie. Wait until you see what happens to him. So Lemke does eventually agree to remove the curse and meet Billy to do it. He arrives with this weird looking strawberry pie to which he adds a few drops of Billy's blood. After that, the pie contains the curse and Billy is able to hand the curse over to somebody else if he wants to. Or he could simply eat the pie and die with dignity, which is what Tadders suggests he do. So this weird pie is why this book's original title was the incredibly shit Gypsy Pie. There's a bit of a theme emerging here, isn't there, with King's working titles and them being, well, crap. I'm not going to tell you who eats the pie, but I will just say, whoa. And you'll never guess who else eats some of the pie. Yikes. Finally, although they do work as this quite effective comic book set of bad people, King's representation of Romany people in this book, not good. I'm not going to let him off the magical Negroes, and I'm not going to let him off the casual racism here either. Not cool, Steve. So there we go, 19 reasons to read. Thinner, let me know what you think in the comments, and tell me whether it left you hungry for more. Don't forget to explore the rest of my channel, there's loads more videos for you to watch, and hey, feel free to subscribe while you're at it so you don't miss any in the future. And if you want to come and say hi to me on Instagram, I am @DaveMusson, and would love to welcome you over there too. Next up, we're going to head into the year that I was born and another excellent collection of short stories. But until then, take care and watch what you eat.